I said leave, Mr. Keating.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Milky, these soft tyres have been extinct for over 20 laps. I mean, these tyres. What?
It's a dinosaur.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
Look at this terrible rule book on it. Cold-bloodedness, it doesn't apply. They're totally wrong. This is a warm-bodied creature.
These drivers don't get lapped.
These guys do mid-low 14 laps. At Hungary, high 13s. Would you like to know something about dinosaurs? Well, here's the thing. They're slow as fuck. Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to round 13 of our European Racing Series campaign. As you may have guessed from the intro video, dinosaurs be slow, and well, we did kind of dominate them. But here's the thing, I think you might want to see our quali lap anyway. As you can hear, Calcifer's in the background as well as our teammate Techno. Calcifer's race engineering for us. So I was very happy with the lap that I pulled off. At the moment we're in 14th because we wanted to qualify in 11th for to start on the medium tyres because medium hards were a better strap. But I thought I'd run you through the quali lap because it was almost inch perfect. So here we go, get a nice late apex through the final corner on the power as early as you can, and push all the way down to start finish straight. We're already 300, so I'll brake at about 70 meters, dropping it down to second. Then short shift up to third, up to fourth as well. A little bit of a moment with the rear end, but it is fine. Use up all of the track down into two. A nice diagonal braking down into second gear. Short shift up to third. And now let the car all the way out on the exit, because you don't need a nice run through that right-hander. It's flat out anyway. 1.5 tenths up as we make our way to the trickiest corner. Dropping it down into sixth gear, but it's just a short drop. Down to fourth gear, and now ease on the powers. You short shift up to fifth on exit. Again, using up all of the track. Brake when the curving starts. Dropping it down into third. Short shift up to fourth in the middle of the chicane. Use up all of the track as you make your way into this beautiful middle section of the Hungaroring circuit. Fourth gear, putting on the power, flat out through the left-hander. Quick lift through the right-hander. We lose about a tenth there just because we can't quite find the grip, can't quite find the turn in. Get right up onto the curb for this right-hander as you make your way down into sector 3. Again, diagonal braking, dropping it down into second, short shift up to third, and easy on the power. It's so easy to lose the back end in these final couple of corners. We run a bit wide through the final corner, but it's okay. Back on the power, and we'll come across the line to set a 1:13.8, which is half a second quicker than P2. But as you can see, it is only 30 tenths quicker than our teammate Technovid. And to be honest, I think with the final corner and the mess up we made through that really fast right hand at the end of sector 2, I think we could have got a low 13.7. But I'm really happy with that. It's one of my best results that I pulled off in qualifying. And I think it was better than trying to start down in, you know, P12 with mediums because we've got fresh air this way. So, it's a 1-2 for Haas in our first ever ERS Tier 3 race. Dinosaurs are slow. What can we say? And what's this Frajoko saying about these guys that do high 13s? None of them are in the 13s. Just me. But on that note, guys, I think it is time for us to get into the race. So, let's see what we can pull off in our debut race in Tier 3. Our debut race in Tier 4 went well for so long. Qualified on pole, we were leading the race, and then a late safety car wing damage threw it away. But hopefully we have none of those shenanigans this time. As always, ERS Mode 3, lean, 11,000 RPM, lights out, and away we go. And actually, we get one of our best starts of the entire season. We don't lose a position off the start. And Welsh Toast gets a good start behind us, but we're in the lead. We're clear into T1, and we've got the job done. Techno's behind us, and now we just need to do a Haas 1 to power all the way to the end of the race. Priority number 1, though, is going to be to pull that 1 second, well, from Techno to Welsh Toast. I'm going to try to include as many bits of Calcifer race engineering so you can kind of hear what the mood and the feelings were in the old Haas camp during the race, but
just to remember to save your front left.
Yeah, so Calcifer's just telling us that I need to save my front left because the plan is Techno pits on lap 9, I pit on lap 10. So I just need to be a bit careful with my front left tyre because that's where you get a lot of wear. And kind of because of that, I wanted to take a bit easy into this right-hander, and as a result, I ran wide and picked up a warning. So
yeah, warning there.
That wasn't the most intelligent thing to do, but we've got a second to Welsh Toast already. And Techno and I, we just want to work together and pull up the field. It's not about getting a second between us, it's just making sure we're clear of everyone else and getting the best possible result for Haas that we can. Right, push this lap to break the 1 second. So, yeah, we say this is the lap we want to push, this is the lap we want to get that 1 second gap. We've gone purple in sector 1, and again, we've run wide through that right-hander. We get a 3-second time penalty, and to have made 3 stupid mistakes like that in 2 laps is just really annoying. And Techno is about 8/10 up on Welsh Toast, and DRS is not active until, well, lap 4 really. And here we go, starting lap 5, we've got, well, Techno has a 1.8 second gap to Welsh Toast. We've got over a second to Techno, so yeah, we just have to focus on our race and just push. We've got a 3-second penalty, so let's just try to pull that kind of gap to Techno first of all. And on lap 7, we get a VSC. We had pulled the gap to Techno to 2.2 seconds at this point, and Techno was 3 seconds ahead of Welsh Toast. So, to be honest, I think we are the quickest in Tier 3.
But I think that
that's the case. At the end of the VSC, we were considering pitting for hard tyres at this point, but the VSC was ending, so I just didn't think it was worth it. Just continue on our strategy because we were planning on pitting in over 2 laps anyway. So here we go. Pushing this lap 8. We've got a 2-second gap to Techno. Yeah. Let's see what we can pull out. Actually, I think Techno might be pitting this lap. I can't quite remember.
Just
but
push
we've got
now, Milky.
2 laps of extra fuel, and as Carlson says, we're just pushing now. We use up all of those tyres to stretch out as much of a gap as we can. Lap 9, we dive into the pit. So Techno pitted on lap 8, and we've used absolutely everything we can in these last couple of laps. Brake nice and easily. We make sure we don't get a time penalty for speeding into the pits, and it'll be a set of hard tyres that will go on the car and will take us all the way to the end. So that VSC may have helped us a bit with tyre wear, maybe saved us, you know,
you should be coming out in front of Williams.
And Calcifer just letting us know where we're going to feed out of the pits, and indeed we do. We come out right ahead of Imzil in the Williams, and we've got, well, actually 2.5 seconds to Techno. So or actually, sorry, that's, yeah, 2.5 seconds. So we didn't really lose any time with the overcut, so we did a good in-lap on those soft tyres, so can't be too disappointed. On lap 11, we're closing in onto Paul Bergema. Still got a big margin to Techno, who had a bit of a moment due to a Ferrari just having an issue redoing the track in front of him. Paul has a bit of a weird lag in front of me, and that kind of throws me off. I outbrake myself, but we get the job done up into P6 now on lap 12, and we're just focusing on climbing up the field as quickly as we can. Got Red Devil up ahead as we approach the end of lap 13. and we get a VSC out. And at this point I was thinking, you know, do we pit for a new set of tyres? Is it worth it? Because, you know, do we put on new hards here? Mediums won't go to the end, so I just thought, you know what, I'll stay out. These hards have only done about 4 laps. It's not really worth it. So everyone else comes into the pits. These are all the guys who started from like 11th down to 14th, 15th. And this will mean that we are now in P2. And this is when I realised the guy who's leading the race, he's on hard tyres, because Darian Alfie, he started on the hard tyres. So Darian might actually be a bit of a threat to us, because I think the pit stop here is about 19-20 seconds. So when he pits, he's going to be 11 seconds behind us. Hard tyres pit on about lap 20. So he's going to have 15 laps to catch 11 seconds, and he'll be on fresh soft, fresh mediums compared to our old hard. So he'd be having to gain about, well, 8/10 a lap, which is possible, and that's just to catch us. We also have a 3-second time penalty to be wary of. So this guy who's leading the race might be a problem. As you can hear, I acknowledge that that might be an issue in the middle of the race. And on lap 15, the gap is 7.6 seconds. So Darren's actually pulled out about half a second, because it was 7 seconds at the start of this lap. So this is where I'm getting worried, because I am on fresher hard, so I should be going, you know, 2/10 a lap quicker. But Darren's doing a good job. We get the gap to about 7 seconds as we start lap 17. But Darren's doing a really good job on those old hard tyres that are about 9 laps older than my hards. And at the end of lap 17, the gap's still 7 seconds. So we're gaining, but it's by a very small amount. And at the point, this was making me fairly nervous for obvious reasons, because I was just thinking, if I can't catch him here, what am I going to do on the mediums? And on lap 19, the gap 6.7 seconds, so we are chipping away slowly but surely. Techno's 2.8 seconds behind, and he's been keeping up with me, and as much as I don't want to admit it, that was throwing me off as well, because usually I'm a little bit faster than that compared to Techno. Techno's actually got the gap to 2.4 seconds as a safety car comes out on lap 19. So this is annoying, because pretty much this lap or next lap, Darian was going to pit for mediums.
Oh, yeah.
So the safety cars literally come out at the perfect time.
I'm going to stay out, I think.
And you can hear myself discussing with Calcifer, do we pit for mediums? Yes, we pit for mediums here. It is the best thing to do. We've got a decent gap to the guys behind. And on lap 21, you can see we're on mediums. Techno decided not to pit because Techno thinks he just didn't want to stack behind me, but even if he did, he would have been in 4th, at worst 5th, I think. So I think he should have gone for it, but hey ho, it is what it is. And safety car gets announced that it's coming in very late, and our tyres are bloody cold, and we just can't seem to get any heat into them because it's so late on in the lap. So safety car is in, and we are back racing, and thanks to our cold tyres, we don't get a good start. We were still trying to weave to get heat into them, but yeah, it's our teammate leading from Darian, from myself. So I need to get past Darian and pull a 3-second gap. So hopefully I can get past him as quickly as possible. And on lap 22, Darian runs a little bit wide. We get onto the curb, and that just unsettles the car. You can see that our engine's also a little bit hot, which sadly means that we need to cool the engine, and we can't go for the move on Darian as quickly as possible, which is what we need to do, because we need to get past Darian. Techno would then let us through, and we can try to pull that 3 seconds as quickly as possible. So we're in a bit of a weird situation here. So we need to save our engine for a bit, you know, just run lean for a lap and then absolutely gun for it. And on lap 23, we're so close to Darian. We look for the nice late apex through the penultimate corner. Our engine's not hot, but it's not cool either. So we decide, you know what? This lap we could go for it. We put it in rich ERS, but then Techno makes a little mistake of his own, and that sadly means that Darian gets a little bit more slipstream than we can. So Darian goes down the inside. We tell Techno that we're going to follow Darian through. Techno doesn't make it hard for us, and that's us up into P2. Our engine's hot. So now that we're behind Darian, ERS should be enabled on this lap. Welsh Toast goes around the outside of our teammate because medium tyres are better. So we just need to sit behind Darian, save our engine, and then absolutely gun for it. And on lap 26, the gap is half a second. We're slowly bringing that engine temperature down, but we just need to stick with Darian, stay within that DRS. And then on lap 28 or something, try to find a move and then use absolutely everything to pass him. On lap 27, Darian, he almost has the gap to a second. It's 7/10, but we're still just saving that engine, still just trying to keep our engine temp low, and as you can see, it's down to 117 now. So this is the point where we can start to get a little bit close, and that's exactly what we do. Darian runs a little bit wide, but that doesn't mean he gets a decent exit speed. We put it up into rich and overtake, and we put it straight back down to medium because we don't want to overtake him here. We want to save up our ERS so that when we overtake him, we have lots of ERS available to pull off the move, and we are really nice and close to Darian. We can maybe have a think about doing it into turn 2, but we decide against it. And as you can see, we've still got it in lean. We're still just trying to keep our engine as cool as possible because we are running in the hot, dirty air of Darian as well. So as long as we can keep our engine cool, at the end of this lap, we should be able to go for the move. We're so close to Darian, and we have a little thing. We almost run into the back of him through the right-hander, and I don't know if Darian's trying to back me up here because he feels a lot slower than he was on the previous lap, but we are still running in lean, still just trying to keep those engine temps down. We're at 115, so this is a pretty good engine temp to have, and our ERS is at about 50. As we make our way through the right-hander, we are sticking with Darian, 0.3 of a second. This is exactly what we need. Do we nail this right-hander? No, we don't. We run a bit wide, and that may just mean that we don't pass Darian this time around. But Darian, he touches the curb. He has a bit of a moment with the rear end. This is going to give us a great chance. Third gear into the final corner. Get on the power. And while we're still 0.3 behind, we use up some ERS. Stop using our ERS now because we need it for the rest of this lap. And this is the lap we need to push and use absolutely everything that we can. Our engine temps are perfect. We've got some ERS. We've got loads of fuel. So let's just absolutely give it everything that we can. And there's my first mistake. I put it down into standard. And at the end of the lap, we get the gap up to 0.9 of a second. We just miss out on that 1 second. And I still got 16% ERS. So I should have used everything on that lap to get it over a second, but I didn't. And now Darian has ERS, or DRS I should say. He brings it down by about 0.2 on the start-finish straight. And on lap 31, again, the gap is 0.8. And if he didn't have DRS, I think we would have pulled it to over a second, but it is what it is. And at this point, I just realized I'm not going to get it over a second. I've used up my ERS. That was my chance, and I didn't give it everything. I said I'd give it everything, and I didn't. So, big mistake for myself. But on lap 34, we've got half a second gap to Darian. We run wide through the right-hander. We get another 3-second time penalty. And at this point, I realise there's no chance of getting a win because I was hoping that Darian might make a mistake trying to keep up with me, stay within that 1 second DRS zone and get a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, so we've got 3 seconds more of time penalties than Black Apollo. So we're still ahead of him by about 3.5 seconds. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that Darian's somewhat close and he could overtake me, and I would still like the pride of being able to say I won on track at least. So into the final corner, we just need to make sure we can absolutely gun it and prevent Darian from overtaking us. We get a good run, rich ERS, we use it all, and on to the final lap. We've got the race done and dusted as long as we don't spin, which, to be honest, I haven't spun in pretty much any of the practice races. So yeah, there you go, as we have a moment with the back end. But yeah, and no, I lost connection to Steam. We lose connection to the Steam. Oh, fuck off! On the last lap of the race, on the very last lap of the race, we lose connection to Steam, and yeah, it was very frustrating that I couldn't take the win on circuit. What ended up happening is my DC'd car crossed the line in P2 because it ghosted, so Darian was able to overtake me, otherwise he would have just slotted in behind, and we finished 4.5 seconds ahead of, I think it was Black Apollo in P3, so we were able to hold on to P2. Techno only managed to get 7th, so kind of conclusion of this race is, I honestly, and I don't mean this as BM in any way, I think Tier 4 is harder than Tier 3. I think the guys in Tier 4 are very quick. I think the only person who really is quicker is Mr. Darian. Darian Alfie is definitely fast, but I think everyone else, you know, I think if you put the likes of Joff or Jojo, the quick guys from tier 4 into Tier 3, I don't think they'd be out of place. I think they would be battling for those top 5 positions, as I said, with the exception of Darian, who is quick. But then again, we were quicker than him on those medium tyres, so I think Darian was doing mid-high 17s on his medium stint, and on our hards we would have been doing mid to low 18s because that fuel load would have dropped. So I think we would have held on to the win if that safety car didn't come out, but it is what it is. It's racing. I messed up, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. But a decent outing for our first round of ERS. So on that note, guys, if you haven't already, you can give me the old cheeky follow on Twitter, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the intro video as well. We'll be back next week for round 14 at Spa, my favourite circuit on the calendar. That's definitely where we want to get our win. It's also where I got my first ever league win, full stop. So it'd be great to get our first ever Tier 3 win at Spa as well. So yeah, thanks guys for sticking with us, and until next time, stay milky, and assalamu alaikum.